First stop, Lake Aquatica, and rumoured to hold some absolutely massive Italian carp. Okay, so we've got to Aquatica, we've had a little walk round and we've been advised that these are the red hot swims. Me and Jay both, as always, like the same spots, so we're going to have to flip a coin over swims. So we're going to bring the governor in. I'm heads, you're tails.
Yep.
And it's for the pick. You ready?
Tails. Tails never fails.
Tails never fails. I remember that when I was a kid. That's the only thing I remember of it.
Oh, you didn't even show me it.
No, it was definitely.
It's definitely, you've got them in your pocket.
Well done, boss.
No, never.
So I'm going to be fishing on the right hand side of this swim. I think it's going to give me a few more options. There's a few fish showing out on the right hand side. Plus we're going to be fishing the far margin, and I'm hoping that any fish that are on the right hand side of this lake, which is like a big bowl out here, are going to be coming along that margin, and maybe I'll be picking them off before they get to Dave. But one thing we will be doing, and we've spoke about this, is when we're doubling up and we're fishing in the same swim, we are going to be really considerate of each other. So I'm going to be fishing with quite a long leader, which means when you're dropping that down, it's going to be sinking along. So when the fish do come along, they're not going to be seeing the leader popping straight up off the bottom and scaring them off or stopping them coming through. So thank you, mate.
Well done, Jay. I would have picked the right hand side as well.
Yeah, I had a feeling,
definitely,
mate. But the thing is, mate, we've both got the same concept. We know the fish are going to be there. We know they're going to be coming from right to left, because this is a dead end, basically. To our left, it just turns into like a dog leg, and there's nothing down there. So Dave's going to be fishing to the left, which is actually, you've got...
Still loads of
water. There's loads of water. It's probably got, what, 3 acres there.
Yeah. Well, we're due an absolute ton of rain in the next day or so, and it's getting here in the next hour, so we're not going to hang about. We're going to pull the bivvies out, get set up and get on with it, yeah?
Yep, let's do this.
Let's do it, mate.
Nice one.
With heavy rain being forecast, we rush to get the spots ready for the week ahead. Well, me and Joe have just gone out in the boat and had a look round. Just out here, it went down to 70 foot deep at about 40 yards, so it's a mega deep lake. But we're fishing across the marginal shelf. It's about 5 or 6 foot right up against the bank, dropping on a lovely flat area that runs at about 12 foot all the way along. So we've decided to just come off the reed line, and we've done a few little bits of bait, not gone mad, just put a bucket out between us on 3 spots each. See what happens tonight. Okay, I'm near to my spot now. I'm going to use the bait boat basically because Jay needs the boat. I mean, it's a rush against light. We've just about got set up. I'm going in on 11 foot and then I'm tightening my line. Dropping. Probably the deepest lake I've fished in ever, actually. Don't think I've ever, apart from Oriana, which was 120 foot, don't think I've ever fished a lake this deep. Cannot wait to hook the first fish because I'm wondering, are they going to plough down to them depths or are they just going to fight mid-water? I suspect they'll fight mid-water. I did see some fish when we was across the other side, but they were very small, little koi, no big carp, but maybe the big carp were there. They're just a lot harder to see than them koi, and the koi are going to give the fish away. Jay's side, it looked absolutely excellent over there. I'd love to have won that coin flip, but it is what it is. Let's see what happens.
First impressions of what is out there is absolutely shocking. You go out about 20 foot, 30 foot, and it's deeper than it is further out. It's crazy. It is really, really deep. I don't think I've ever fished in a lake so deep. And it's going to be really interesting playing carp in 100 foot of water because I don't know whether they're going to want to go down or whether they're going to want to go away. Most deep lakes, you would say 25 foot. The fish are going to want to bury their heads. They're hard fighting, deep ploughing fish. This is so deep. I'm not sure the carp are going to want to go down that deep. So it's going to be interesting to see how they fight. I'd rather them go deep than go left or right because me and Dave are fishing in quite a tight area, and I have a feeling if they go left or right, it's going to take us out. So no, it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, my first impressions is going to be interesting. Finding a decent spot is absolutely essential. I'm doing that a variety of ways. I'm using the echo sounder to find a nice flat area. I'm dropping a rotor block on that spot, and then just next to it I'm putting the marker pole down. This is where I'm going to be baiting very accurately. I'm going to be able to drop my lead right next to it.
By spreading the bait up and down the marginal shelf at different depths, it would mean that any fish moving through would come across bait, making them a lot easier to keep in the area. Well, right on cue and true to the forecast, the rain came, but unfortunately no fish came with it.
That rod down to my right hand side didn't do a bleep. There's been fish showing out, but the problem is they're showing out, and that's over about 80 or 90 foot of water, so it's crazy, isn't it? What a mad place.
I'm actually quite confident on the spots I'm using at the moment.
Yeah.
I think they're good spots. I think your spots are good.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
It's one of them, isn't it? You're either fishing from 27 to sort of 10 feet, or you're in 70 foot.
Yeah, there's no in between.
No,
so you're up there or
you
not.
know the areas you need to be in, the fish are showing over them, and I think it's just a case we just keep building the swim.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We spoke to a lad yesterday that told us that last week one guy had 3 fish in a week.
Yeah, it's definitely not an easy lake. I think if you hit it right, maybe in the summer and they're right up in the margins, I think you could probably have a few more.
Good hits,
but
yeah.
The weather that we've got this week, being dull, drab, raining, obviously it's going to be raining for like 3 days, it's just going to make it a little bit harder than normal, but you know what, we've just got to overcome and adapt really. Keep the spots going. I know there's fish around the area, they're not over my spots, but they're around that area.
And there is some massive carp in here.
There is some big ones.
I heard a couple last night, one down in the bay and one out in the open water here, and they were big carp. It sounded like someone was chucking a washing machine in, so they're definitely here.
Well, catching a carp that sounds like a washing machine sounds good to me.
Yeah, could cause a bit of a tumble.
Oh, I might have giggled, but Dave's jokes are absolutely painful.
I was sitting in my van on the phone because it was raining, and the rod's just ramped off, and we've got this prehistoric beast. Stuck the rod around the side here, and because we've been seeing some carp show, and I caught myself a sturgeon. Never had one before, so I'm quite pleased.
Ready?
Yeah, go on, Jake. Yeah, just under £36.
Nice.
That'll do.
Well done, mate, for your first one.
Cheers, mate.
Sweet.
It's a baby in regards to sturgeon, but the only one I've caught. There's about 6 different types of sturgeon. What one this is, I'm a bit unclear, but I'll have a look later. But I'm pleased nonetheless, because it's been pouring down for 2 days now, and I'll get this one back, and hopefully the sun's going to come out tomorrow and I'm going to catch a carp. Don't know if I want to kiss this one. Little kiss. With a bit of googling, it turned out to be a Siberian sturgeon, but it's hard to tell with so many species. I was back in action almost right away, and this time, another surprise, something else I've not seen too often. There you go. Look at that, absolutely beautiful. And I know they're not everyone's cup of tea, but I don't catch many of them, so I'm really pleased. Bright orange, beautiful Deutsch koi. And it just goes to show the spot's working, the fish are coming in, the rigs are working, so I'm taking all the positives from it. And she is definitely getting a kiss. She like that.
Bright orange here, Dave. Didn't know you was colourblind, and your missus is not going to be happy with you kissing so many fish. The reason this fish is fighting so hard is because it's a koi. Koi are well known for fighting their arse off. And this one is doing no different. So it probably isn't a monster actually. It probably is about £12. But it's a beautiful koi. And it's something you don't catch every day. Lovely. Something a bit different, isn't it? Hooked my finger yesterday, hooked a koi today. Happy days.
I liked it when he hooked his finger because he was crying. I had to get it out for him and he was saying, Dave, can you have a cuddle afterwards? I was like, yeah.
Check this little one out. I actually feel guilty for catching it. If anyone knows me, knows that I used to keep koi. I've actually only just gave up my pond, but it's pretty mad to come to a fishing lake that's this big in the middle of Italy and catch something that I had in my back garden. So let's slip this little cutie back. Hopefully a bigger brother and sisters out there that's not a koi. That's what we want. We do not want many koi. I don't want any sturgeon. I don't want any grass carp. I want king carp, please. Nice big fat common or a big scaly mirror. Hello, David.
And he also loves eels.
Oh, they're my favourite. It was my favourite. Right, let's get it back. This rod's been out maybe 2 hours. Same rod as the last one. I'll put it in a little bit shallower. This is probably in about 6.5 metres. The other one was actually in about 7.5. I just thought I'd shallow this one up a little bit, to be honest. Anywhere along the sort of shelf line is going to do a fish if they're there. It's as simple as that. And we've seen a few over there now, and obviously they've found the area and they've found a bait. It's just so mad playing them in this deep water. They don't fight very hard, but to be honest, the fish that I've had have been babies, and they swim towards you a lot. There you can see the tiger nuts hanging out of his mouth. Lovely. So let's leave her in there for a couple of minutes, let her chill out, and we'll get her on the mat, show you what it looks like.
26.5 pound, mate.
Yeah.
But at least it's a normal carp.
It is a normal carp. Cheers, dude. And then put the rod straight back out. This one I changed slightly, put some tiger nuts on with a little 6 mil cork stick drilled out and put in there, making it really, really critically balanced on the Slip D multi-rig with a size 4 curved. £26. It's raining, miserable, and but this one's picked up the spirits a little bit. Hopefully we'll have a few more, because at least now I know that spot is working. Just need to work on the other two now, get them to go. With that bit of action, it took us into the night with confidence, high in the hopes of catching more carp, and we weren't disappointed. Lovely. This feels like a decent fish.
Oh,
What
I think that's bigger than I thought. How big did you reckon, Joe?
37.
41.12.
Nice.
Yeah, 41.
Yeah. Happy days.
Well done.
Well, let's have a look at her. Oh, £41 Aquatica carp, and I could not be any happier. The weather might be miserable, gloomy and horrible, but this has put a big smile on my face, because it's our first proper carp, which means the spots are working, the bait's working, and I could not be any happier with this one. Mwah. Right, let's get her back. I'm about to go out in the boat and put the rig out, so I thought I'd show you what I'm using. I'm fishing in about 8 metres of water, but it is so sloped. So as you can see, I'm going to show you the heavy end first. I've got a 10-ounce gripper lead. That's going to go through the water layers really fast. It's going to hit the bottom and it's going to stick to whatever it goes to. It's exactly what I need. And the lead is connected to our uni lead clip. That is drop-off style because I do not want to be carrying around 10 ounces of lead. And then above that, I've got a 6-foot lead-free leader, which is absolutely perfect for this terrain. It's loads of gravel out there. That's going to sit in between it all perfectly. And if I do get a pickup, it's not going to cut it off or anything like that because it's super abrasion resistant. And then onto the rig end, which is actually the money shot. I have got about 8 or 9 inches of Camo X in soft, and that is a beautiful, beautiful hook link. It sinks perfectly and it's really, really supple, which is exactly what I'm after. I've stripped probably about 1 inch, and then I've got a Slip D multi-rig. Very simple rig, very easy to use, hardly any components. And on there I've got a long kicker and a size 4 medium shank curved hook, which is the perfect combination to let that sink very, very slowly. If you notice there, I've got a couple of tigers on there, and on the top one I've drilled out and I've got a 6mm cork plug into that, which I've just cut either side to match it up, and that sinks very, very slowly onto the bottom. Exactly what I'm after. So myself and Dave rested the swim today pretty much. After yesterday's storm, rain all night, we had bites and stuff, and basically the rods were pretty much out. So we decided to rest the swim for the day. Went to the supermarket, got some bits, and these rods have probably been out maybe an hour. This is actually a new spot, so I had my right hand rod just down the margin here. Hasn't produced anything for 2 days, so I figured I might as well put it along with the other ones. This is the furthest rod now, so this is probably at about 250 metres, right in front of another swim on the corner that's not actually being fished. So it just shows you, if you fished in that swim and fished 20 yards off, you could quite easily catch. Instead of that, I'm going 250 metres to fish the same spot, but that's all right. It feels okay at the moment. It's just kiting right, and looking where the line is, it's probably in about 80 or 90 foot of water. I'm assuming this fish is probably no deeper than about 10 metres. So speaking to the owner, he said the thermocline's at about 10 metres. What that means is you've got varying temperatures in the first 10 metres, and then after about 10 metres the water changes to very, very cold. At the moment it's 12 degrees, which is really cold. Last summer, or last year, it's at 16 degrees. So below 10 metres of water is very, very cold, and the carp just don't really want to go there. But above that, it's warmer, and they're happy to feed there. So we're fishing in 7 or 8 metres of water. Dave's got one a little bit shallower. Anyone who's putting their rods deeper than sort of 10 metres, they're in that really cold water and they're not having any bite. So if you are fishing a deep lake, get that thermocline in your head, because it's a big part of angling, a big part of watercraft, knowing the difference in temperatures in the different layers. That's why zig fishing works so well. If you can get that right layer in the right temperature where they want to be, you'll catch more carp. It's as simple as that. Well, this one has made me a very, very happy boy. We'd rested the swim, a little bit of a tactical change today, put some bait out earlier, come back, drop the rods in, put a little bit more bait over the top, just a couple of scoops, and away she goes an hour later. It's a challenging lake, there's loads of different bits and pieces that you've got to overcome, but that's the fun of carp fishing, isn't it? Right, I'm going to get this one back, fight another day. Because I've got an Argillus on my thumb at the moment. For anyone that don't know, Argillus is a parasite that's come off this fish. So it's on me, so we'll have a little close up, see if we can get a look at it. Going into darkness, Dave's been pestered by a few smaller ones, but that was soon to change.
This fish doesn't want to go down the 70 foot. So I think they stay in the sort of top 12 feet of the water, I think. They definitely don't dive down till they get right near the edge. They all come down into this margin where they find these small lilies and hang around in them. Not bad. Got a good one. We've got a fish over 14 pound, I don't believe it. I'm well chuffed with that. Short fat fish, 37.5 pounds. And yeah, I was pleased it weren't another little mirror or common. But yeah, hopefully things are going to get underway now. We're 2 nights in, we've just been through an absolute monsoon of storms for 2 nights. It's dried up and me and Jay are getting bites, so things are looking good. I didn't kiss the last one, she was too small. This one's definitely getting a kiss. Yuck. Taste of fish.
The machine does it again.
Cheers, darling. Look at that. We rested that swim today and I think it's done us some good, hasn't it?
Absolutely.
We've both come back and both had a 30.
Yeah.
And we was catching some tiny fish. I mean, you had the
Yeah.
40, but we've had some, didn't even know they were on.
Yeah, exactly. I think when you've got the shoal on you, sometimes it's better off just not feeding them, letting them go away.
Yeah, in a decent set.
And then put some more bait in when they're gone. You know what I mean? Like, we rested the swim today, and as soon as I come back, 2 or 3 scoops over each rod and had fish.
That's good, isn't it?
So, same with you. You've gone straight out, put your rods out. And thing is, I'm glad you had them because it's a couple of small ones, koi. It's oh, come on, there's got to be bigger ones in this area.
I was just thinking,
there.
Could it be a week of catching? Because I saw another 2 koi over there today.
Yeah.
And as much as they're pretty, I don't really want to catch them.
No,
you know
not when there's 60 pounders in it.
No, exactly. They're just wrecking your area. But,
yeah, just come in, take the bait, and you know the big uns haven't got the chance then, have they?
No.
Look at that. With the spots clearly producing, we had to keep the bait topped up, as it was clear the smaller fish could be wiping us out of bait, as they were obviously on it.
Right, I'm just going to run through the rig I'm using this week. I've kept it really simple, and the reason for that is there's quite a lot of crayfish in here. I don't want to fish things like pop-ups where they're going to pull the putty off, they're going to pull the bait off. Crayfish don't really like tiger nuts, but they love things like boilies, putty on pop-up rigs, so you want to avoid all that, and I've done that. I've kept the rig super simple. I've got a medium curve 2XX, which is the extra strong version because we're fishing a long way out. I've got a 35-pound Camo X hook link, and that is it. It's so simple. Quite a long hair. Fish in here, the big ones will have massive mouths. The hook is super heavy, so it's going to drop down really easy. I'm ready to go. Well, I think we've got an absolutely tiny fish on here. As the evenings got darker, the fish have just started showing over our spots. I think it's only a small one. It's really head banging around everywhere. I'm expecting a bass to pop up. It is something strange, it's not a carp. It's a barbel. How mad is that? I said to you it didn't feel like a carp, didn't I? Well, this would be my first ever barbel. Oh, I've never seen one of these, I've just heard about them. Is it a barbel? Some sort? I don't know what it is, if I'm honest. Don't tell me that is a grass carp. It's not a grass carp. Well, it's small, and I honestly couldn't tell you what it is. It's some sort of grass carp. Maybe they call it a blue carp, I'm not sure. It's always nice to catch something new and different, but I'm not going to kiss it because it's quite slimy, so let's get it back. It turned out to be a blue carp. Not what I was after, but hopefully a big carp was on the cards. Well, we're all packed up and ready to go, and we said we'd let you know if we had any more, and I managed to catch a lovely 40-pound common. Jay also lost a good fish in the night, so it was quite an eventful last night. He ended up with 10 fish. 9 of them were very small, 140-pounder. So we take a look at it.
Yes, Dave, finally caught one.
There you go, an absolute breeze block of a common for the last fish of our session here. I'm going to slip her back and get on the road. But I was well pleased with that, and boy did I have to wade through some fish. Thank you, darling. That worked for you. Hope you grow into a massive carp. Go on. We left a quiet on the way to the new lake, but not before doing the infamous challenge. And this time, once again, Jay would be out of his comfort zone.
I'm really looking forward to this one. I'm scared, but I keep wanting to conquer a few fears. So this is a fear that I really want to get over. I don't really like heights very much, and since the Alps, I don't like water very much either. So this is kind of 2 in 1. So I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, conquer a few fears on this trip, and I'm looking forward to it. And I think that's what it's all about: coming out here with your mates, enjoying it, and doing things that you wouldn't normally do day to day. So I'm actually really looking forward to this one, even though I am scared. But maybe my scared is excitement, who knows. But I'm looking forward to it. And I've read Ant Middleton's book, and I'm going into the fear bubble in a minute.
This is true.
It seemed to be a real adrenaline rush for Dave up there, but for me, the feelings were a little different. Even just watching him do this, I was on edge. Ooh, that's cold. I am absolutely in myself.
Okay.
Slow.
Yeah.
Me.
Go down. Go down.
Just go, yeah?
Yeah, go down, but slowly. Okay. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Like a whale in the water.
Give me a countdown, Jay.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
Alright, 3, 2, 1, jump! Dave might have counted me down, but did anyone else notice that the instructor just pushed me off the side?
That water is bloody freezing, and I'm sure that he holds you halfway just so he can get as much of it down your neck as he can. But the fun bit, let's see if the 20 stone lad can come down. Well, I'll tell you what, Jay, out of all the ones we've done, that's been the most enjoyable for me. What about you?
Yeah, I've got to admit, to be honest, I was petrified before I started, and now I'd happily go and do it again.
Yeah.
So yeah, as much as I hated Paul to start with, I kind of love him again now. So conquered a few fears. I'm definitely not worried about the water anymore. And
Yeah, the fear of heights, the fear of water.
I think I'm still going to be scared of heights because I'm getting a bit giddy just looking over there.
You're still scared of heights?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. But that's all right because I jumped off like really high things and stuff. So it's all cool. But no, I've really enjoyed that. And I actually now want to just get these off. I want to get some clothes on. I want to go for something to eat because we haven't eaten today, and have a proper chilled out afternoon because we've got a big week next week.
We've
we're
got
going
some
to catch
serious
some
fishing,
monster
mate.
carp.
We're going to work like a team next week, like we did on there.
Yeah, 100%, mate. 100%. Look forward to it. Thanks for helping me through that, mate, because I think I needed it.
No, you did fine.
Yeah. Right, let's get these off and on to the next bit.
With Jay conquering a few fears, it was on to the next lake. And with plenty of rumours of monster carp, the anticipation excitement was building for what lie ahead that week.
We arrived at Salasco and set about checking out the swims and what the place had to offer us, which I know includes the Italian record.
We're finally at Salasco, and what a beautiful place. You can drive a van all the way around it, so if you've got a load of kit, it ain't hard to unload it, but the lake itself puts me in mind of Zumbar in Croatia. Long reed lines, very convenient but still pretty, water's gin clear, weather's lovely, and the backdrop of mountains means this week already is looking good.
Facilities wise, you've got everything you need for a week. You've got showers, toilets and charging facilities, so that's all you really need to not live like a bank tramp for a week. So like I say, this place is beautifully manicured and everything up there is perfect for it.
Prior to coming to Salasco, as usual, I don't do a lot of investigating. I like to turn up with no preconceived ideas. I do have a friend that had been here once, a Spanish friend of mine, and he said solid bags work, so throughout the week I'll definitely be giving that a go. But at the moment there's plenty of fish showing, it's very warm, and one thing I've noticed, the lake is very deep. It's got an average depth of around 28 foot.
Everything on this lake is casting, so there's no bait boats or no big boats. So it's all about getting out there, finding out what's out there. Looking at the map on the wall, it's very deep. There's a few shallower areas, and I'm only talking a few feet here and there. So it's not going to be too much of an issue whether we're finding like big plateaus and stuff like that. But what we are going to be looking for is some of the shallower areas. And once we get onto them, I'm hoping it's going to be a bait and weight strategy. 3 rods on a spot. That is my absolute go-to method. I love doing that. So 3 rods on a spot, bait and weight.
But first impressions, a lovely lake, clear water, and I'm really looking forward to the week that lies ahead.
I'll let that catch up. Yep.
Right guys, so what we're actually doing, we're working together in this swim. So there's a bar that goes from swim 6 to the real edge of peg 4. So what we're trying to do is trying to find the top of the bar and how far right it goes, so that we know that if you're fishing in peg 4, where you have to fish on the edge of it. So that's what we're doing at the moment. We're in peg 5 and we're just basically casting around to see where this bar is and where the top is.
See that there, 28?
28. Okay, so that's not coming up it yet, is it?
No, because it was 27.
It's 27, so unless you're coming this side, but I think it's closer.
Yeah.
So what we do is we cast out. We've cast out over where we needed to go, and then you're bringing it back. And as soon as Dave felt gravel, he's popped the float up, which was at about 28 foot, 27, 28 foot. And then he's bringing it back a rod length, and we're going to do that until we find the top of the bar. And hopefully that'll be about 21 foot. If it's not, and it goes this side of the bar, then that's fine. We know that we just have to recast a little bit further, and we know that our shallowest point is the top. We don't know whether that's going to be 21 foot or 25 foot or whatever. So that's how we're going to find our area. and then once we've found this area, we can stand in either swim and we can have a little look around, and we can go from there, and we can get our own marker floats out and we can find what area of that bar that we want to fish on. But we're going to work together this week, so we'll probably have a central spot where a couple of rods are going to go on it either side, and then we'll have a couple of areas and go from there. But it's looking good. It's looking like a lovely area to fish, and it's definitely somewhere we're going to enjoy the week, that's for sure. And there's a lot of fish showing, so hopefully if they don't all bugger off, we're going to have a good one.
With a few likely looking areas marked up, it was time to get the bivvies set up and get comfortable for the week ahead. I'm always excited to get the rods out as quick as I can, and I was really looking forward to hooking one of these Salasco carp.
With the area baited and the rods out, the first action came as darkness began to fall. Yes! Happy days. There we go. First fish. Dave's Thanks, mate. There we go, moment of truth.
£31.
Happy days.
31.
Happy days indeed.
Well done, mate.
Well, look at that one. There's not many scales on it. It's a near leather, to be honest. But at £31, I'm absolutely buzzing. Let's treat her for any wounds or any bits and pieces that she's got on her.
There you go. Jay's off the mark. We've got our first fish. We're now not worried about fishing 28 foot of water.
Exactly, yeah, 28
Yeah.
foot's easy enough. No
28
dramas.
foot of water she's come from. Well done, fella.
Cheers, mate, nice one. Now can you help me spod?
No. It was great to see Jay get off the mark so quick, and as the sun rose, he was yet again into a Salasco carp.
Happy days. Look at that one. Caught at about 100 yards, maybe a little bit further. 28 foot of water on a little slip D. 18mm bottom bait and a 15mm pop up. Really, really slow sinking on a rock bottom hook link and a size 4 curved hook. Could not be happier with this one. It dropped the lead on the take exactly how I wanted it to. Played and fought like an absolute demon. If I'd have lost it, I would have thought it was twice the size. Really happy with this one. Let's get her back, put a little bit more bait in, and hopefully a few more come. Well, let's get this one back. I've got a lot of spodding to do. I've got a feeling the more I put in, the more fish I'm going to get. I've started off pretty slow, but now time to up the game, I think. I've had a couple of fish within 12 hours. All over a really tightly baited spot. So let's get a few more in now, and that way Mr. and Mrs. Carp will visit that spot constantly, and hopefully I'll have a few more fish. But for now, let's get her back and let her see another day. There you go. After having a few fish, feed them and they will come were my thoughts, and I wasn't wrong. Bait's working, rigs are working, and the spot's flying, so very, very happy. Let's let this one chill out in the net for 5 minutes while we get everything ready. I think that's quite important to let the fish rest It's had a hard battle and you don't want to just drag it straight out of the lake. So we'll let this one rest in the net for a little while and then we'll get it photographed. So middle of the day, middle rod's just picked up, real steady take, didn't take too much line, just literally picked up and held tight. There's definitely some kind of snag down to my right hand side. The carp are absolutely loving it. I can feel it grating, but I haven't really got too much worry because the abrasion resistance on this fluorocast is a joke. I was going to be putting orbit on when I come here because I was told we was going to be fishing a super long range, but we're fishing just over 100 yards and this fluorocast, absolutely no dramas. I know I could get probably another 30 yards out of it. Wow.
Very line off, isn't it?
Crazy. Oh my god. Oh, it's got the wrinkly head. Come on, baby. Oh. Come on. Come on. Yes!
Well done, mate.
That's a proper one. Thanks, Dave. Full stretch.
I was,
Over the moon with that. I've not even looked in the net, I just know it's a big, and I see it's got a big wrinkly head, and past experiences, them fish are old and they're big when they've got that wrinkly top to them, you know, and
It's a bit like Jay. See this bit here?
big wrinkly head.
That's how that fish looks.
Old and big. So we're going to leave it in the net for a couple of minutes, get ourselves sorted, and we'll show you what it looks like. Yes, so chuffed. Just shoot the dollar.
£63.
Yes,
Well done.
quality.
£63 and an
That's what we're
absolute
coming for.
stunner as well, mate.
There's a beautiful fish as well.
Yeah.
Wow. I am proper buzzing with that one.
It's like, looks like a pig without legs, that fish.
Madness.
It's huge.
Knew it was a big fish when I was playing it.
Yeah.
Monster.
With Jay absolutely on fire, and this time into an absolute monster of a carp, surely it was going to be my turn soon.
Well, check that one out. 63 pound, as Dave said. What an absolute colossal fish. Big wrinkly old head on it. Past experience shows that these are old fish when they're wrinkly like this. Wow, I am blown away. It fought like an absolute demon, and look at the tail on it, and that is why. I can't believe I've had this one, to be honest. Another 60 pound Italian fish for me, and I'm so happy. Let's get her back, get some more bait in, because I've got a feeling this won't be the last fish I have. What an absolute beauty, and I cannot believe the result I've had this early on. What an absolute clunker. Look at it, 63 pound, it's absolutely stunning. Let's get her back. There you go, baby. See you later.
.36 there, and if I can't find anything shallower, I may have to do a move at some point, but Jay is off to an absolute flyer next door. Just had an amazing 63 pounder, a 40, 2 30s, and I'm yet to get a bite off a carp, just a small catfish, but we're only 24 hours in. We've still got most of the week ahead of us, so I'm confident I'm going to get a few bites. I might just have to work a little bit harder than I anticipated in the first place, but that'll just make it more fun. So what I'm doing at the moment, I'm looking for a few areas, a bit of gravel or something, a bit of a feature, I've got 36 feet to my right. I don't really want to be in that kind of depth of water. Jay's getting bites out of 26 foot, I believe, so I'm going to have a little marker around more than I did yesterday. I didn't go mad yesterday because there was a few fish about, but today I'm going to use the marker a little bit more, see if I can find a new feature, then I'll put a bit of bait on that and see how we go. Well, I just got back from Jay showing me where the spot is. Just about to tighten up the bobbin and it's literally gone before we had a chance to get the alarm on. And like Jay said, it's mad, that little bit of extra range makes a difference. Quite shallow there, Jay.
Quite so hard.
Yeah, they do, didn't they? Smallest carp in the lake.
You can put him from over that side.
There you go.
Oh, beautiful one, though.
Beautiful one, yeah.
Happy days, mate. Well
Thank
done.
you, mate.
Nice one, mate.
Panic over. So yeah, that was the rod we just put out, literally. I won't grab my net. I don't think I'm going to weigh him, it's about 20 pound, and we'll have a quick look. Well, my first fish from Selasco. After being netsman for Jay all day, I finally caught one, only about 20 pound, after unfortunately losing what felt a lot bigger, but I'm happy just to get off the mark. Well, the long rod has gone again. This time feels a much better fish. I'm guessing it's somewhere in the region of about 160 yards that cast. The spot that's rocking, me and Jay said we'd share, and because Jay's already had 5 fish, he's very gracious for letting me have it at the moment. Not sure how much longer that'll last, but low pressure, overcast, drizzle, perfect big fish conditions in England, but we're in Italy. And I'm hoping this weather continues, if I'm honest, because most of the lake is 30 odd foot deep. I'd guess this is about 15 feet where this is landing.
How's this one feeling, Dave?
A lot better than that last one, mate. Yeah, a lot better. Really held out there. I know where that reed line is, mate. Like, you know, they're just hanging on it all for about a good 2 minutes. It was just hung on that weed line looking for something. Put down here, it looked like it was going up there, you know what I mean? Definitely on the back now.
Yeah. Lovely, that's better. And she's a stunner.
She's a lovely fish. Thanks,
Yeah,
man.
mate.
Cheers,
Nice one.
Joe. Cheers, man.
Right. That was a beautiful carp.
She goes 29.12.
Well, check her out. 29 pound and 12 ounces. Absolutely beautiful carp. If I'd have lost it, I said it was a lot bigger. It pulled like stink. And she's quite keen to go back. And dinner is on, so I'm quite keen to get her back. So, thank you, my darling. What a gorgeous carp.
With Dave getting in on the action, I wasn't going to take my foot off the pedal, and the rod was away again. Bang on dinner time. Don't know if you can hear the church bells in the background. Paul's cooking us a lovely spaghetti bolognese, and I'm playing a carp. What more could you want? Feels quite nice as well. Got a nice bend in the old high S's. I'm so not wearing pants.
You ready? 1, 2, 3.
No, I've got to concentrate. Fish is in now. Looks like another nice one. Go on. Lovely.
Folded that into the net.
There you go. Right, hook her on, Dave. Ain't it the truth?
Yeah.
45.12.
Happy days.
Well
Nice.
done, mate.
What a day.
How comes I'm catching all the pasties?
Your turbo cup, mate. It's normally me. It's normally me, so
Take it like a
role
man.
reversal.
Take it like a man.
Yeah. Yeah, look at that beast. £45.12. And couldn't be happier. What a day. Bit of a red letter day. I've had a real chunk and then this one. Totally blown away. I'm really, really happy with this. Beautiful carp in here. I mean, we've had 6 or 7 now between us and they've all been stunning. So I can't wait to see what the rest of the week brings. Hopefully it will bring lots and lots more. So I was just explaining how I was having a red letter day and my other rod's gone off. Pulled to the rescue, was straight on it. As you can see, I'm into this one. The area I'm fishing to is just a big raised area of about 28 feet, gravel and silt, and either side of it drops into 33, 34 foot. It's very gradual, very big area, so it doesn't matter if you're a little bit wayward with your cast, as long as you hit the clip and feel the lead down and there's spod all over that area, you've got a good chance of catching, which is exactly what I've been doing since I've been here. And it's working so far. Hopefully it carries on working. Doesn't look like a big one. Nevertheless. I might have lied when I said it didn't look like a big one. This one's actually quite a good one. 38.5 pound. First common of the week, and I know there's some monster big uns in here, especially the commons. This place has got some real big uns in it, and I've got a feeling we're going to have some of the big uns this week. If we start wading through them like I think we're going to, then a few big uns are going to come our way. I mean, I've already had a 60 plus, which was unbelievable. So to catch this one, plus another 46 a minute ago, there's a reason why this place is booked up for a couple of years, and that's because it holds quality carp like this. And it's beautiful. The lake is absolutely beautiful. Manicured to perfection and full of big carp. What else could you want? Okay, let's talk about rigs. So I am a massive fan of the German rig, the slip D rig and the multi-rig. Now, over the last few months I've been kind of tweaking a few bits and pieces and I've come up with the slip D multi-rig. This is what I've been using, this is what I've been catching on. It's a really, really simple rig. It means I can change the hook at a moment's notice and it's very, very simple to tie. It's just a case of putting 2 figure-of-8 loop knots in either end and you are ready to go pretty much. It's so simple to tie. The beauty about this, it can be tied in any material. I'm at the moment using the Soft Camo X because I'm fishing in about 28 foot of water. It's quite soft out there and I want the lead to kick away nicely, but I also want this to be able to sit over any debris on the bottom, which it will do perfectly. I'm fishing it at about 8 or 9 inches with a small little anti-tangle sleeve on the bottom, and the hook end is just a medium curved hook with a large kicker on the end there. And what that kicker does, that holds everything in place, because I've literally tied a loop, I'll put it through the back of the eye, I've pushed it over the point of the hook, and then that multi-rig can actually slide up and down. So for years, my pop-up presentation would always be a multi-rig, and if I fished a snowman presentation or a wafter, it'd be a German rig or a slip D. The reason I've combined these two is I'm just fed up of having to worry about whether I'm going to change rigs or not. I'm a very, very simple rig guy. And when I combine it like this, it means I can fish this as a pop-up, a snowman or a wafter without any changes of the rig whatsoever. All I have to do if I'm going to put a pop-up on is put a split shot or a bit of putty there and you have a pop-up rig. It's got loads of flexibility, so that is no dramas, and it's exactly the same as my multi-rig that I would normally fish with. And if I want to fish a wafter or a snowman, this gives me the presentation where the hook is going to sit on its side and the bait's going to sit and move up along the shank, exactly the same as my German rig or exactly the same as a slip D. And I've got 100% confidence in this rig because it combines all of my favourites and I know they catch fish anywhere I go. Proof's in the pudding. I've caught some lovely fish this week already and it's all been on this.
Well, this lake's really deep, so they come in quite easy to the edge and then they really hang around the margins, but it goes out and drops off on a steep shelf, and it's like they know it's there, but it's nice to have the orbit on because you've got the security of that 35-pound shock leader, 40-pound shock leader that's going to take all them little sharp objects and not be cut off. If you was down there on a normal line, you'd probably be getting cut off. There we go, I'm not going to get him out. Bring back your big mama, stop messing around. Go tell the
With the message got across and I was soon in again. Although not one of the big uns, not yet anyway.
Hold on, mate. Another one bites the dust.
lovely fish.
It is a nice fish, yeah. It's proper clean.
Yeah. These Italian mirrors are quite unique to this part of the world. Great big hump on their shoulders, tiny little heads, and they grow absolutely massive. Although this is one of the babies. I'm still on pest control while Jay's hauling monsters, but sooner or later a bigger one's going to come along. This one's got the hump. Okay, I'm just going to run you through my bait application for this week. It changed from the start. I started out fishing quite heavy with a lot of crumb, but there's absolutely millions of little fish in here. So when you're putting the crumb in, you can see them all bouncing around the surface, and they're actually getting it before the carp even get to have a real good look at it. So I started using some bigger food items and harder food items. So I started off, I've been using the high impact boilies, the banoffees. So much confidence in these. Even at home I'm using these now, and when you're abroad they're brilliant because they're not going off, they will last because they're a shelf life bait and they smell absolutely beautiful. So to start the mix, I'll put some whole baits in and then I'll chop some baits, and the chopper is absolutely brilliant because if you're a little bit limited on what you're doing, then you can literally double the amount of bait you got. Even though it's the same quantity and weight, you're putting down double the amount of items, which means you're going to keep the fish in your swim even longer. You can chop 40 baits at a time with this, so you can literally get 80 halves. Make sure you don't put your fingers up the middle. There is a blade, try and chop it against something and then just tip them in. So I put a load of halves in there. Yeah, so the great thing about when you're chopping bait is you've got some whole baits and some half baits. And if you're fishing on a margin shelf like I am at the moment, the halves will get caught in between the stones, so everything's not going to roll down, so you can have a nice spread of bait down that marginal shelf. So I've put my boilie in. Next I'm going to add some different ingredient, and I'm going to start with tiger nuts. Tiger nuts are a brilliant bait anywhere in the world, and at this time of the year when the water's warm they're particularly good. These ones have got the multi-stim in, they're the power particles from Mainline. I'm going to tip some of them in, not go mad. The other great thing with tiger nuts, nuisance fish generally haven't got the power to crush them up in their laryngeal teeth, so they will sit on your spot. So if your boilie gets eaten and your small particle bits, the tigers are still going to be there remaining for when a carp comes along. So my next additive, and something that's become a real favourite of mine, is the crushed peanuts and tigers. I've been using this everywhere this year, UK and abroad. And in here you've got like the nibs of peanuts, crushed tigers, mini tigers, and it really does make for a really crunchy meal for the fish, and they do love to have a bit of crunch in their diet. So I'll get that in there, I'll give that a little stir up. The great thing about mixed nuts as well is they're going to have different types of oil, so you can have different oils coming up in the water columns at different levels. My next and my last additive is the trout pellet. All fish love trout pellet. I'm not going mad, I'm putting in a couple of scoops in here and then stirring it in. And I did notice the start of the week I I weren't really getting much action, and Jay's mix is very fishy. So what I've done, I added some trout pellet to my own mix to give it that fishy smell, and I started getting bites almost immediately, so they definitely liked it. Last but not least, something I put over loads of mix. All carp love hemp oil, and just by giving the whole mix a nice sheen in oil means that it's going to bring it up to the surface. It's going to create lots of smells and taste within the water column where I'm fishing. At the moment, this rod is in 28 foot of water, so I can feel the entire column rather than just having bait on the bottom. I've literally got a block of smell, so as the fish are cruising along, they're hitting that wall of oil and it's pulling them down onto the bait. So there you go, I add a good bit of oil, stir it all in. So after I've given that a good stir, you can see just how oily that mix is. It's got tiger nuts, it's got peanuts, it's got boilies, it's got trout pellet, hemp oil. Is a mix that no normal carp could swim over and ignore. And I've added plenty of tiger nuts in there because I'm a firm believer in tiger nuts are great for catching commons, and a big common in here that's over 90 pound won't be able to resist that if she swims over it. Well, that's my plan anyway.
Consistently adding bait accurately to the spot seemed to be paying off. I was in again. Could this be one of the big uns?
Well, another lovely upper 20 from the margin spot. It is definitely doing me bites during the days. Surely a big fish has got to come along soon. I'm due a monster.
We sat and took in the beautiful scenery as the night came and the fog rolled in, and went to bed with our fingers crossed in the hope that one of the true giants that call Salasco its home.
As I rose in the first morning light, the sun broke through the clouds and my bobbins remained motionless, but yet again, Jay had another lump.
What do you reckon then, Jay?
Do you know what? I haven't got a clue. I landed this in the thick fog, literally unhooked it in the net, put it straight in the sling. I had a little look and it looks like a chunk, but I'm not sure. I'm thinking 50 plus, but
I haven't had a good look at her, but I'm saying 52 pounds.
Right, let's go.
Go on.
Ready?
Yep. 53.
Yeah, I love that.
£53, yeah.
Happy days.
Yeah, £53.
Good guess, mate.
Well done, mate.
Nice one. Well, check that one out. We say that every single time we pull one up, don't we? But it's the go-to saying when you've got an absolute chunk. Beautiful, beautiful Italian Salasco carp. £53 on the nose. Fought like an absolute demon. Just check out the tail on it. I've got some more baiting up to do, and hopefully we'll carry on nicking 1 or 2 a day. That'd be amazing if we can carry on doing that. Still pretty early on in the week, so hopefully I'll build a swim and keep the action coming. Well, one last look before I put her back. What an absolute clunker. Thank you very much. Mwah. I'll do a levy and give it a kiss, see if it'll give me some luck. On your way. Thank you very much.
Well, I think you've had all the luck you need, Jay. It's time I got some.
So let's talk bait. I'm using a mixture of baits this week. I'm using DNA baits, S7 as my boilies, and I'm using carbon baits particles and some hemp oil from them as well. I wanted to make life very, very easy, so all of my stuff is preserved and shelf life, because the way I see it is I'm travelling out here, I've nowhere to put it in the freezer, I've nowhere to keep it cold or store it, and I don't want it to go off while I'm here. So I'm going to just talk you through now how I actually do my mix. I'm spodding all the bait out, so for me it doesn't matter if all the bits are small and crushed and halved, you know, it's perfect. If it's going out in a spom, it might as well be a mixture, a nice big buffet on the bottom, and let me show you how to do that now. Okay, in no particular order, I'm just going to put a load of particle in, so very easy, come in nice simple jars, and I'll just pour them in. I'm going to probably be doing about half a jar at a time. I don't want to prepare too much, so I'll put sort of half a jar in of each product, and then, you know, however many boilies I feel to make the mix. I want to put quite a few boilies in because there's loads of small fish in here, and what I don't want them to do is to go in there and actually clear me out of all the small particles and the crush bait. So I am going to be using a lot of boilie over the top of it as well. A few tigers. I'm not actually going to be putting many tigers in. I'm trying to preserve them throughout the week. I've only got a few jars with me, so yeah, put a few in there, and I actually believe you don't need many with tigers, because I might use them as a hook bait as well. So that was crushed tigers, this is full tigers, and then I've got some hemp seed, which is absolute favourite of anything that swims, so we'll put that in there. And then this little beauty, this is buckwheat. This is a bit of a secret we've been using for a year or two, and whenever we've been using buckwheat, we have done very, very well on it. So get yourself on the buckwheat if you want to use something a little bit different. Next, I'm going to crush some bait. So I haven't got it all prepared with me. I'm actually going to crush it as I go because I want it to absorb the juices but not become too sloppy. So I'm going to crush the bait now. I'm going to be using anything above sort of 15 mil. I've got a mixture of boilies with me. I've got 8s, 15s, 18s and 22 millers. So I only really crush the 18s and 22s. But for this one, I'm just going to crush the 18s because I actually want to keep the 22s going in, because I know them big boilies are always going to be out there. Nothing's going to be eating them apart from the carp. So get that in there. This is, close the lid, and this is super fast to do. Okay, next I'm going to chop the baits. So there is a bit of a process to this. So I've gone particle first, then I've gone crushed, and now I'm going to chop the boilies. So I've got a 20 mil chopper here. Take that off. A handful of boilies. Simply put that over the top and press it down. Once you've done that, you open the lid and you pour them out. Very, very simple. Like I say, I'm going to do 3 or 4 of these because I do like the mixed sizes in the water. So we've got a load of full boilies, we've got a load of crushed, and we've got a load of halves. Very, very simple, and then tip that in. Right, now we've got the crushed and we've got the halves. This is the point where I put the hemp oil in. Now the reason I do that is I know that the particle won't sort of absorb or grab the hemp oil as well as the crushed or the halves will, because an open surface on the halves will absorb it because it's softer inside, and obviously the crushed is more like a powder now. So if I put the hemp oil in now, I know that all of those open faces are going to be able to absorb all the hemp oil. So that's why I'm doing that now. And the reason I use hemp oil as well is 2 things. Obviously it's very attractive to the carp, but also when the fish are feeding on the spot, I'll see a slick come up, which really, really does give you that confidence, and you know there's fish on the area. Okay, again, this is the part where you just give it a little stir up. Just makes it easier to stir it now than wait until the bucket's completely full up. And very simply now it's just a case of chucking some boilies in. So I'm going to be putting a couple of scoops of 18 millers in. Like I say, I want quite a lot of bait in here. And then I've got some lovely little 8 millers, which are pretty much particle the way I see it. They're so small. So I'm going to be putting in, for this amount of mix, I'm putting in 3 scoops, I think. When I'm spodding, I actually look at the mix the whole time. So if I feel that the mix needs a few more boilies, or it needs a little bit more hemp, or it needs a few more tigers, then I'll just add to that as I'm actually spodding. So when I'm putting it out there, sometimes you think, oh, all the boilies are gone, so just chuck a few more in, because what you don't want to do is just leave it bare. So I'm halfway through spodding, I might just top it up with a few boilies or whatever, but I do know that I want more boilie out there than particle, just because I need that confidence that if I haven't had a bite in a couple of hours, there's still bait out there. Right, let's mix these all up now, and it's done. Okay, so let me just talk to you about the setup. Now, it's very, very important. I've been to a lot of lakes where people are just using their own rods, or they're using sea fishing rods and all sorts, and that does work to a degree. But if you're going to be doing this on the regular and you're going to be getting bait out there a lot, then you really do need a specialised bit of kit. Strength is essential. You do not want to crack these off because they can go a long, long way, especially when you're putting them under a lot of pressure. So I'll start off, I'm using a Free Spirit rod, dedicated spod rod from Free Spirit. It's super strong. It will cast as far as anyone can cast it, so there's no dramas about that. And then on the reel end, as long as you've got a nice big strong big pit reel, that's perfect. As you can see from the colour of the braid that's on here, that's our transmit. I've got a spom on the end of this, and I'm only fishing at 26 wraps at the moment, so I'm not actually using a braided shock leader. Now, I have got two setups, so I've got a marker rod and a spom rod, and I use them both for both jobs. One has got a shock leader on it for fishing over 100 yards, and one hasn't. I'm only fishing at about 100 yards, so I don't need a leader at all. I can just cast this out, no dramas, no effort. But because I'm using braid, you have to use a finger stool. This will rip straight through your finger otherwise. This one got kindly made for me and a few of the other lads. I need my name on it because Levy would only steal it otherwise. That's why it's got my name on it, but they are absolutely essential. And loaded onto this big pit reel is our transmit spod and marker braid. This is perfect for the job. It's got zero stretch, it casts like an absolute beaut, and it will go out to any distance you want. I mean, this one hasn't got a shock leader on it. I'm fishing up to about 100 yards, and that's no dramas whatsoever. I have got another dedicated spod rod that will cast a lot further, and that's because it's got a shock leader on it. I don't want any issues with it cracking off, so anything over about 100 yards, I'll put a braided shock leader on there and go from there, because it's essential that you do not crack off on places like this, because there's a lot of people around and it's very, very dangerous. These spods can go 200 yards with a crack off, so you have to be really, really careful. Like I say, I'm only fishing at 100 yards. I'm putting hardly any effort in, so I don't need a shock leader on this setup, but I will show you my other setup which has got a shock leader on it. So this is my long range setup. As you can see, it's pretty much identical to the other one. The only difference is I've got our braided shock leader on here. It's 50-pound breaking strain. I've never known anyone to be able to break it on a cast. It's absolutely bulletproof, flies through the ring perfectly. All I do is I tie the transmit straight to the shock weave using a back-to-back 4-turn grinner. It's super simple and very, very easy to tie, and it's really, really strong. I make sure on the reel it's got 3 or 4 turns, and then basically the spom wants to finish up at about halfway down the rod by the spigot. Once that happens, you know you've got the right amount of shock weave on and you can tie off your spom. Now all I do is I have a massive great big loop with a tiny little loop on the end, and that means I can change it over from my spod or my marker very, very quickly, and it's very easy to take them on and off. I won't always use this big spom. Sometimes I use a medium, sometimes I use a small, depends on the distance and how far I'm going. Sometimes a medium spom will actually go further than a large spom, so just have an experiment with how you cast and how far you can cast with the different size spoms, because not always the bigger one means it's going to go further. Lovely. 38 now. Yeah, nice. Happy days. I thought it was an early 30, so happy days.
It's a lot bigger than the one I've got down there.
Well, this one come out of the blue, to be honest. I didn't actually expect a day bite today. The sun shone through. I'd had a couple of fish in the night. Oh, and I have another one now. All right, Dave, can you deal with that, please?
Yep.
I'll be back. I put out 5 or 6 spoms just over the area. Quite spread out, to be honest. Try not to fish super, super tight. And this one's gone. Thanks, mate, I need that. All these nights on the bed chairs, they hurt, don't they? Does that come with a happy ending? Well, you obviously just see me run off to get that fish, and Dave's holding it. Beautiful one as it is, but we thought we'd do a bit of a double one. Saves getting them in and out, in and out.
So, this isn't my fish, it's Jay's. But I wish it was my fish. A lovely carp, isn't it?
Yeah, proper nice one.
Beautiful one.
All right, let's get them back.
Put them there,
And get
Jay.
some more bait in.
If you put it there, Jay.
Oh, he's such an helmet.
You did it to me.
Was that the kind of happy ending you were after, Jay?
Right, so we're wrapped up and we're going to cast long distance. I'm using a Basia reel here, which is a big pit reel. It's a very light reel, so that's going to help me with the speed of the cast. The rod is a 13-foot high sieve from Free Spirit. It's a very powerful rod, and you're going to need that if you're fishing a long way. Same with a bit of backbone in it. These are about a 4 to 5 ounce cast rod, so they can handle leads between 4 and 5 very easily. Generally, I'm going to cast with a lead in and around 3 to 4 ounces. And you want to look at the aerodynamics of the lead. You don't want a flat bottom on it, you want a nice pointed lead. Here I've got a zip lead that's going to cut through the air and help me with the range. Then we've got the main line. You want a decent casting main line. I've got the Orbit on here. The Orbit comes in 300 metres and it's tapered at each end. It starts at 40 pound going down to 15. Then we do a 35 to 12 as well and a 35 to 10. So on here I've got the 40 down to 15 pound. You get about 2.5 lengths of shock leader, and I like to take some of that off. I like to have about 2 wraps of shock lead around the spool. If you leave the lot on there, that thick 40 pound line is going to rattle through the eyes. What you want is a shorter length of the 40 pound line as you can get away with. So I have it about 2 times around my spool, and it's easy to see it because it changes colour. It goes a very dark green. So that's what I've got on here. So big pit reel, powerful rod that's 13 foot, a tapered casting line and a zip lead. So I always like to start with my spooling so you ain't putting any undue pressure on the spindle of the reel. And I want the lead roughly to be from the spigot to the next eye up. You don't want it any shorter than that. You want to use the power of the rod. So now you're going to look at your casting position. I prefer to have my arms slightly bent. I don't want straight arms because I want to punch then pull, and you can't do that when your arms are straight. I like 1 foot forward, which matches the hand that is out, and then I've got this hand here, and now I'm looking to get as much speed from the rod tip to the front of the cast. There you go. That's 38 wraps, and that looks relatively easy on 15 pound line. It's quite important to have that line in a clip because you're going to hit the clip and it's going to fling the rig straight out behind the lead, and when you're casting a long way the rig is spending a lot of time behind the lead. So as it hits it in the air, the rig's going to flick forward, it's going to come down. As you hold it down, it's going to give you a perfect presentation. So let's get a rig on and make sure we can still make that clip. I always like to give my line a little bit of water on the way in. I probably spent about 8 months testing the Orbit, and the 10 I've hit up to about 47 wraps. So it's really good casting line, and I actually ain't no big caster. Casting is about practice. You'll find if you're fishing a small water for the year and you're not well practiced, when you go back to fishing a big water, it will take you a little while to get back into it. So if you're coming out to a venue like we're at now, where you know it's a lot of long casts, it might be worth it the week or 2 weeks before you go, going down to somewhere like a local field or a big water if you can get away with it, and practicing your casting for a couple of hours and just getting your eye in. So here we go, we've got the rig on. Now get the rod behind me, good casting position. I like to have 1 foot forward, and I'm looking for tip speed. And that is flying. Bang, smack that clip that time. Down it goes, out the clip. I've got a nice straight line because I had it in the clip. That helps take any of the bow out the line at that range. Now all we need is a nice big carp.
Well, hitting long range seemed to pay off instantly. Hopefully this is that massive common I've been looking for.
Well, with big carp, it's more if you're going to guide them, you can't pull them. You really do have to play them out. Sometimes the harder you pull, the harder they'll pull. Like that.
Well, mate. Got him.
Is it?
Yep.
It's coming up now. Go. Oh my god.
Oh. Get in!
Yes!
That's a donkey! Woohoo!
Yes!
Big common, man.
Finally!
Well done, mate.
Thanks, man. What happened to his tail? Even bigger if it had another foot on.
That's a big one, man. Well done, mate.
Thank you, man.
That's what it's all about. Well, it's all go here. We've got cameramen, we've got business owners, we've got koi pew all running around the swim, and Dave's got an absolute lump. So let's tell you what, let's get this weighed and get her back in the water. Right, ready?
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. Come on, Davey boy.
There we go.
Oh, there she goes. Oh, she's keeping going. Ooh. She is 58.
Yes.
10. Yes. Well done, mate.
Thanks, mate.
Yes.
Lovely
Yes,
one.
mate.
That's what I wanted.
Wade through them,
Yeah.
and the big ones will come. Well done, mate.
20 pounders. 58, 12, 58,
58, 10.
Oh, I love it.
Well done, mate.
Thank you, mate.
And a common.
And a common, yeah.
Proper.
Wicked.
I think we talked this one into the net after all the chat about big commons throughout the week. I was absolutely buzzing for him.
She is a lump of a fish. Very awkward shape. Look at that. Withered old tail. Big thick solid shoulders. 58 pound, 10 ounces of Salasco Italian common. And I've had to wade through a few 20s for this. It was just playing your waiting game, and the big one has turned up. And what an amazing carp. No doubt this will be one of the known ones. Funny little tail root on it, should be a foot longer. Yeah, what a fish. Well, look at that. It's an absolute tank of a fish. And that's why you've got to have super strong tackle. And I love carp. I thought I'd lost the fish then. It was like snagged, and then it just came off of a rock, and the rod pinged right back. And that is when it's really good to have the insurance of that extra 12-14 foot of shot cleaner material that comes on the orbit line. If that had been a normal line, they'd probably been cut off then. But lucky I had that extra toughness. I'm just going to jump down here and come under this rod. Like this. Oh my god, it's another massive common. Shoes off. In you go. Like peas in a pod. 2 huge commons. Oh my god, that's massive. Yes.
£54.4.
Yes, cheers, man.
250 is £100.
That's mad, isn't it? After like not having any bigger.
That's crazy.
You wait for one and two come along at once, just like buses.
Well, check that out. Proper old warrior of a fish, blind in one eye on one side, half a dorsal fin, withered old fins all over him. I think he's been in here years, and at £54 and 4 ounces, more than welcome. So after a run of 20s, at 250s in a row, this is turning out to be a mega trip for me and Jay.
With the last 2 fish being big uns, it was time to get some more bait in. It seems the big uns had turned up on me.
Okay, so I'm going to talk to you about the D-rig. We've made it really simple to do this rig now at RidgeMonkey by bringing out the D-rig kickers that simplify tying the rig. The kicker has got an extension cord on it down to a little rubber grommet that you just hook over the tip of the hook, and then you simply slide the kicker on the top, and that creates your D-rig. On this you add a mini ring swivel, and this allows your hook bait to slide up and down, so when the fish picks up your bait and it spits the bait out, the hook can then drop down into the bottom of the fish's mouth, and that is the D-rig component. My favourite hook to use with this rig is the medium curve in a size 4. It lends itself to this rig, it's got a really aggressive eye on it, so when the fish picks the bait up, it really does kick the hook over aggressively, which gives you a really deep hook hold. The hook link I've chose to use today is the Camo X Soft in £25, and it's probably my favourite hook link in the range. I like to fish my rigs between 9 and 7 inches. This one is about 7.5 at the moment. On the top of the rig, I've got an anti-tangle sleeve and a figure of 8 knot. That way I can easily attach the rig to the quick change swivels. And you can see how much rotation this rig has got. So when that fish picks it up, especially on a wafter, you can see just looking at it that the tip of the hook will drop down into the bottom of the fish's mouth and just lends itself to hooking carp.
A beautiful evening came round and Jay was in again.
Don't think so, mate. Ain't happening.
Don't lose him, Jay, he's lovely. The 20s fight so hard at this. Yeah.
Well, this is a cute one, but it's a fully scaled, and I haven't caught many of these. I think the last fully scaled I caught was at Western Park on a great escape, and that was probably double the size. This is probably, I don't know, 15, 18 pounds, something like that. Nailed on the rig, nailed on the bait. It's exactly what we was after. It doesn't matter how big they are, it just shows that the spot's working, the bait's working, and the rigs are working. And that's what it's all about, getting that confidence in the bite.
You need to remember that if you're fishing really long spots, that at some point in your session the wind may change and you're going to lose a bit of range. In this swim it don't really matter because I'm fishing a long margin that is the outer bounds. There's no swims on that bank, so I've literally just had to move in a little bit closer, and I'm going to bait and bring them into that area. But if you're fishing out into the pond, just remember that if you're fishing extreme range, that maybe you want to pull it back a bit and allow for the weather conditions throughout the week, because you will drop shorter once you get the wind in your face, as I'm experiencing now. Okay, so I'm fishing long down this margin, and rather than having to spod continuously like 150 to 180 yards, I'm walking along this margin. I'm wrapping up at 5 wraps on my spot, and I'm just peppering bait up and down this margin. So as the fish come in and visit the outer bounds, they're just coming in. There's little pockets of bait everywhere. So that means I haven't got to be too accurate on where I'm landing. I'm just getting a really good long cast and landing in areas on a marginal shelf where the fish are visiting continuously. And as we're talking, 2 fish have just showed. So early mornings when that sun's coming up, they definitely like to get up on this shallower shelf to feel a bit of warmth. The area out in the lake where me and Jay are fishing in the other swims is 30 foot deep. So it's obviously a lot warmer in this area with the sun on it. So that's what I'm going to do now. Get a little bit of bait in, get the rods out, and hopefully get a bite. A few more boilies in today. Going to try and coax a big mirror into the swim. Less tigers. So I've just gone and got the bait in on the non-fishing bank. That is a little bit of security for him along there. No one can fish, so it's a bit of a sanctuary for the fish. And it's really long, so unless you can whack a lead a long way, they pretty much can feed and get away with what they want. So that's why they're hanging around there. So normally on a big lake like this, I would follow the wind, and they have followed the wind of fish, but because they've got that security of that non-fishing bank, they've hung there all week. I've gone round, I've got the bait in, we've got 2 rods long, I've already had a liner, so I'm hopeful. And there's other signs today. I've seen fish showing, I've seen flat spots. When the fish vortex and they break the surface, it leaves a nice flat spot on the surface, and I've seen a few of them, so there's definitely fish in the area. Don't always look for fish jumping, look for them flat spots, bubbling and things like that. There's so many more signs than just a fish showing. So fingers crossed, we're on the last 2 days, and I'm hopefully going to get a big one. If I don't, I'll try my hardest.
Well, Dave's change of approach is obviously working, but will it be that big Italian mirror that he's after?
There you go, a lovely Italian 35-pound mirror. And me, Jay, came here hoping for 20 fish between us. But at the moment, we've both had 18 carp. I think this is actually my 19th carp. So we've nearly doubled it. And we've got about 48 hours to go.
Absolute scorcher today. I can't really believe I'm getting bites in 28 foot of water. But I did say that by midweek, if I kept the bait going in, then the fish will keep visiting it. And you know, today is kind of proof in the pudding that yesterday was really quiet for me, but I still persisted. I still put the bait out. I still did the whole thing that I said I was going to do, and today they're on it, and I think this is my 6th bite today. I'm sure you can catch them on many other methods. I'm sure you can catch them on PVA bags, I'm sure you can catch them on singles, but for me, I'm here for a week. I'm not going to be moving swims, so it's a case of bait, wait, and hopefully they come along. Thankfully it happened on the first day, which is a result, because obviously it shows that the rigs and the spot's working, and you know, you've got confidence to keep doing it. But I still would have done it, and I would have persisted, because it normally pays off. See the leader now. Beautiful carp, but not one of the monsters. That is a stunning carp. It's just about to go into my net. It's going to look lovely in my album, that one. Here we go. What a mad looking carp. Scales the size of apple slices, little tiny pin ones, no belly on it. This would be £45 if it had a belly on it. Beautiful carp nevertheless. Let's get her back because it seems to be coming thick and fast today. I don't think the action's over. I'm going to put a few more spoms out and hopefully have a few more carp. So, mwah. Ciao Bella, let's get you back. With the action coming thick and fast, we were still hopeful of more fish gracing the nets as our time at Salasco was drawing to a close. Good thing about this lake is we could all sit down and have something to eat together, and that's exactly what we was doing, and my left hand rod's just ramped off and it is holding deep or holding strong pretty much on the spot. I think, as you can see, it's really pulling back out there. It's either going to be a bionic common or a decent one, because the commons fight like mad, like seriously mad, and they feel heavy for some reason. Really weird. Oh, here it comes. Oh, it's right in the reeds. Get out.
Not a bad one, Joe.
Looks like a nice fish actually. Oh, it reeds, mate. No, you didn't know your margin was there, mate, did you? What's she go?
£42. 40.
Wow.
Yeah, £42, yeah.
Excellent. Yeah. I was thinking that was an early 30.
I said at 40, didn't I? Yeah,
oh, nice.
40 when it come up.
Happy days.
Well done, mate.
She said. Thanks, mate. Well, there you go. And I've said that quite a few times on this trip now. I think this is fish number 20 for me. Really clean mirror. And now it's behaving itself. So thank you very much, Mr. Carp, because you're actually one of the first ones that hasn't beat me up on the bank. Every single one of them has kicked the out of me. So this is being very nice, and you're going to get a kiss for that. Mwah. Let's get her back to fight another day so that I can put some bait out and get these rigs out. Because I've got two to cast out now, because this one took the other one out. Right, let's do it.
Oi Jay, I'm the one that gives out the lucky kisses to the fish, not you.
Well, it seemed to work, Dave. Might have to do it a bit more often. Okay, so that was pretty mental. Middle rod was absolutely ripping off, and when I got there the left hand rod started going as well. So we've got two on. Thankfully Jack was here, so he's on the I think you're playing the middle fish, I'm not sure, but yeah, giving it a go. Keep that rod tip nice and high, Jack.
It's always a bonus when you come on these trips as a cameraman to be able to play a couple of fish. I won't complain. Let's hope it's a massive 50 plus.
Jay, don't give up your day job, mate.
The thing is, every time we've had a double take or two fish really close together, they've been from the same shoal. So if you get a big scaly one, then the next one's normally a scaly one or a linear or a fully scaled or whatever. When we've had commons, they seem to be common after, you know, two commons after one or the other. And when we've had the big uns, we've had big uns one after the other. So this one feels pretty decent. So you never know, Jack. Me and you might have a pair of lumps here.
Yeah, let's hope it's a couple of decent ones from this one. They just seem to be plodding along nicely, just slowly coming in, not really doing too much.
I know we've said it a few times already, but these Salasco carp really do fight like stink under the tip. They give you a proper workout. Yes! Oh my God! My legs are shaking, I swear to God. I'm like, the minute I hooked it, I was like, that's a decent one, that. Go and have a look, mate. This is your bad boy. Yeah?
34 on the dot.
Nice.
Nice.
Well done, mate. Nice
Cheers,
one.
dude.
New PB, innit?
Yeah, that's an all-time PB.
Lovely.
I'll take that.
Right there we are. Right. Good on, mate.
Thank you very much.
That's proper.
Can't complain.
That's his PB.
Yeah, that is.
And another one. I'll put another one there for it.
Thank you very much. And again, here we go.
Well, you just see Jack's PB, an absolute stunner. And whilst he was playing that one, I was playing another one. Thankfully for me, being a bit selfish to be honest, that one is an absolute chunk. So let's get that one out, do a few photos, because that is a stunning, stunning carp. But before we can get to see that, Dave's rod was away too.
Well, Jay has just netted a huge mirror. Just about to help him, and my rod's gone. While eating my breakfast, I've had to sprint down here, get on the rod. I can tell you now, the one on the end of this is nothing like the one Jay's just landed, because that is a monster and beautiful. Can't wait to see what it weighs. Well, I've literally just let that go. It's about a mid-20 mirror because I'm so excited to get up and see what this fish weighs. Jay's caught. It's an absolute beast, but a really, really well proportioned, good looking carp. So I'm going to get up there and have a look. Yeah, 60 with that one. I think it's 61.
No, I had a 63 earlier.
Oh yeah.
This is a big fish. I'm not. Yeah, this is a big one, but it's not only big; it's gorgeous looking.
Yeah, definitely.
Reminds me of me. Right, come on. Right.
Cool, mate.
Jesus Christ,
There.
that is heavy.
Go for it, mate.
Oh my God.
I'll let you know. 66.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, 66. 66.6.
Is it really?
Yeah, 666.
Yeah, the demon
The
fish.
devil fish. Well done, mate. That's a
Happy
huge
days. Oh my God. Well, that is definitely 100% an Italian PB. As much as I'd hate to say it with these lot around with buckets of water, but yeah, that's definitely an Italian PB. Oh my God. Just look at it. Dave, look at that bad boy. Oh my God.
It's an absolute. He's got everything.
He's got
Looks,
everything.
size. Yeah, he's absolutely a mega carp, that.
What
Mega.
a week.
Well done, mate. How many fish we had?
Oh, it's got to be well over 50.
We've had over
Well
60.
over 50. Is it really?
Over 60 fish.
That's
we've had, yeah,
unbelievable.
yeah. Loads of big ones. What an amazing week,
Oh
mate.
my God.
Is that your Italian PB?
Yes.
I've got something to you, mate.
What an absolute donkey. I'm so made up with this.
Really horrible and it's
Stop!
Yeah. You know the old splash? This is much better, isn't it?
You're an idiot. Oh, why are you taking so long? Oh. Thanks, Dave.
That's right.
Oh. Well, at least this cooled my balls down from the deep heat.
That's true, yeah.
Oh. Thanks, mate. Let's get one last look at it, eh?
Yeah, go on, mate.
Before we let it go. Oh my God. The devil fish. It's probably got its own name, but you know what?
666.
666. That is the absolute nuts.
30 kilo fish.
Yeah.
From Italy.
Proper. So happy.
Excellent.
Right, let's let it go.
And that's what we come here for. Another personal best beaten on a great escape.
So what can I say about this week? It has been absolutely fantastic. I have really enjoyed it from the moment we turned up, and there were fish showing all over the lake, to the moment I left. I ended up with probably a 45 pounder last night that I just slipped back. And how crazy is that, to have a week where you are catching so many big fish that you can put a 45 pounder back without waking anybody up. I've had such a fantastic week. The last couple of great escapes, if anybody's watched them, knows that I've really struggled, and weeks like this, they don't come very often. So I've had such a good week. 2 60 pounders, a 50, load of 40s. I couldn't be any happier. What a place. I absolutely love Salasco, and I can't wait to come back.
What a fantastic week we've had. Loads of laughs, good food. The lake itself is beautiful. You can park behind every single swim on the lake. Yeah, there's not really a lot more I can say, other than the fish are massive, as you're going to see. Jay had a brace of 60 pounders to 66 pound, 30 kilo mark, which is the magic mark out here. And it was so nice to see Jay doing well this week. He's so humble, lovely lad. I even pitched him myself with a common just under 59 pan. Definitely somewhere I'm going to come back to.
A great escape trip always comes with its own outtakes. Well, sit back and enjoy. Shall I start again?
Yeah, sorry mate.
Here's a f***ing surprise.
See you soon, fella. Go on. I even kiss the little ones. Shouldn't have said that, didn't come out right.
What the f*** are you going to do with a fish like this? It's absolutely tiny. So, this isn't Urban Banks. I'm not actually happy about catching this koi. She's going back. I'm only joking, Nash boys. I'm only joking. I love you lot, really. Right, come on, let's get her back. Mwah. Look, you've only been in there 10 minutes, so don't be a
So when the fish pick the bait up, it does kick the hook. It kicks the hook. Sake, it really kicks the hover. Hover. You know, I can do this. I'm just waiting for you, slow coaches.
Dave, you sound like you're a bit angry, mate.
I'm not.